welcome back. So what we're looking at today is more of our solving equations. So it's worksheets 3 and 4. So make sure that you do both of them. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at a few of these problems just for some extra practice and understanding of how we take and solve these to make sure you're really getting them. So let's go ahead and take a look at number 1. So we have 2x plus 1 equals 7. So to solve for this, the first thing we want to do is move the 1 over. So we're going to subtract 1 from both sides. So we have 2x equals, the 1's canceled out. Sorry for the weird lines. The 1's cancel. So we have 2x equals 7 minus 1 is 6. Now we divide by 2. So x equals 3. So x equals 3 for this one. So you got to be careful with opposite signs and knowing how to take and cancel out the values. So how to do the opposite operation. So be very, very careful with that. All right, number 2, we have 3x minus 4 equals negative 1. So to move the minus 4 to the other side, the opposite of subtracting is adding. So we're going to add 4 over. So we have 3x equals, the 4 is canceled out. So anytime you're doing this, and let's say you did a minus 4, if you take negative 4 minus 4, you're going to get a negative 8. If that happens, is that really going to help you when it comes to solving? No, it's not. So make sure you have the appropriate signs. So now negative 1 plus 4 is going to give us a positive 3. We divide by 3, and we get that x equals 1. All right, number 3, we have negative x plus 5 equals 7. Now, I know some of you don't like just seeing a negative and an x. You don't know what to do with that. So think of it instead as, sorry, I don't know why it does the random lines. Instead as negative 1x plus 5 equals 7, if that helps you, having that 1 there. So anytime there's just a negative on a variable, it just means negative 1 times that variable, okay? So here, the first thing we want to do to undo the addition of the 5 is subtract the 5. So we subtract the 5 from both sides. So we have negative x equals 7 minus 5 is 2. So now we have negative x equals 2. We never want to leave our x negative, or negative 1x, for those of you who want to see it that way. So we divide by negative 1. So we get x equals negative 2. And I apologize for these crazy lines. There we go. X equals negative 2. So be super careful with your negatives, okay? All right, number 4, we have 5x minus 3 equals negative 8. So how do we move the 3 to the other side? What's the opposite of subtracting? It's adding. If the computer will let me write. Add 3, add 3. The 3's will cancel because negative plus a positive cancels out. So we're left with 5x equals negative 8 plus 3. So we have negative 8 and we're adding 3 to it. So now we're going to be at negative 5. Now we want to divide both sides by 5 to get x equals negative 1. So anytime you have a number attached to your variable, you're always going to eliminate that. So you divide by the 5, you divide by 1, you divide by whatever that value may be to make it so that you can get x by itself. Your goal is always to get x by itself, okay? And we use the opposite operations to do that. So your key word for this video is opposite, because we use opposite operations to take and solve. All right, for the second worksheet, so looks very similar. No, it's not extra credit. It just says that at the top because I borrowed this. So for number 5, we have x divided by 5 minus 1 equals 3. So our first step is still to add 1. Cancels that out. So we have x over 5 equals 3 plus 1 is 4. Now, to get rid of this 5, it's being divided. How do we undo division? with multiplication. So we're going to multiply 5 to both sides. That cancels that out. So then 4 times 5 is 20. So x equals 20. Here, let's do another one of those. So on 6, x divided by 6 plus 12 equals 42. First thing we do, opposite operation to move the 12. So we subtract 12. Those cancel. We have x over 6, x divided by 6, equals 42 minus 12 is 30. We multiply both sides by 6 because the opposite of division is multiplication. That cancels there, so we're left with x equals 30 times 6 is 180. Okay, so that's what you're doing here. Let's do one more. We'll do this one down here, number 12. So we have a minus 30, so we're going to add 30 over. Cancels out. We have 20c equals 370 plus 30 is going to be 400. Now to get c by itself, we divide. So we divide by 20. So 400 divided by 20 is going to give us 20. So there's our answer. So that's what you guys are doing here. Once again, it's just using opposite operations to solve. If you're adding something in the original equation, you subtract it to get it to the other side. If you're dividing, you multiply. If you're multiplying, you divide. If you're adding, you subtract. It's just the opposite operations to get that variable by itself, okay? All right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Have a great day. Bye, guys.